Hey y'all, I'm Melinda, and I'm so glad that you're here. I want to start this first episode with something really small. The kind of small that almost feels silly to talk about until you realize it's not that small, not at all. You see, this morning when I woke up, my house was still quiet. There were no footsteps, no dogs under my feet looking for breakfast, no TV playing the news in the other room. Just that early morning stillness where the light coming through the windows almost feels like it's tiptoeing into the room and everything feels fresh and new. So I went to pour my coffee, but before I did, my hand hovered for just a moment in the cabinet, and it paused just above this cup that I had bought a few weeks ago. You see, it was on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and the moment I saw it, I just loved it. It was the perfect height. It was a nice, thick-weighted bistro-style mug that had this fluted top or scallop top with some gold rimming that went around it. And more importantly, it had these beautiful spring blooms and blossoms on it. And of course, it had a hydrangea. And hydrangeas are my absolute favorite. But it's the one plants that I can't grow in my yard because my house, it's full sun all of the time. So reaching into the cabinet, I hesitated for a moment because I felt like that cup, that new ordinary cup that I had just bought on clearance, there was no special reason to use that cup today. It was just a regular day. There was nothing special about today, but something made me reach for it anyway. So I made my coffee in that cup and I carried it with me into my ladies' lounge. You see, this room, for years, it was my boys' playroom, the place where they wrestled and ran wild and played their video games. And now that they've grown and mostly moved on, it was time for me to reclaim it and make this space mine. I was very intentional with this room. I wanted carpet, which, if you know me or anything about me, that is so unheard of. I was anti-carpet. I didn't want carpet, but I wanted carpet in this room. I wanted it to feel soft, and under my bare feet, I wanted to feel the softness of the carpet. And I knew that I wanted the walls to be this sage, grounding, warm color that just made me feel relaxed when I walked into it. And I wanted flowers, artificial flowers, real flowers everywhere in this room. And I wanted this room to feel alive and feel like it had personality, sort of like what I was letting myself start to have. And slowly, over the last several months, this room has become exactly that. For so long, I would sketch it out, dreaming about the built-in bookshelves that would align the back wall by the window and where I would put my desk. All of those things, I never fully gave myself permission to believe that I could actually have. But I did. And now I do. And this room, it makes me happy the moment I walk in it. Several months later, and I'm still happy every time I walk in this room. It just makes my heart feel a little lighter, and it brings a smile to my face. So I'm sitting here this morning in my ladies' lounge with my cup, and it brings me so much joy. And it kind of snuck up on me. And then it stung because I realized, what had I been saving this cup for? Why did it even need a reason? It was right there. It was available. But for some reason, I just hadn't believed an ordinary day was special enough. And here's the thing. If you're listening to this right now, I have a feeling you know exactly what I mean. Because there's this woman that I know, and I see her everywhere. I see her in the grocery store, at the carpool, in all of the little Zoom squares on my Teams calls, at the meetings, and in the quiet corners of her own home. And I see her in myself. And you see, this woman, she's not unhappy. Not exactly. But she's not really happy either. She does everything right. She shows up when she's expected to. She keeps the favorite snacks stocked in the pantry or in the freezer. She tracks every appointment, every birthday, every deadline, and she holds on to the whole household. She keeps everything together, making it look effortless. But when she finally stops, when she finally allows herself a moment to breathe, she feels it. That quiet ache, that whisper that says something's missing. She's not ungrateful. She knows she has good things. But she treats herself like an afterthought, like the one item on her to-do list that always gets pushed to the bottom. She'll tend to herself once everything else and everyone else has handled it, when she feels she's earned it. You see, my friend, I see you because I was you. I am you. Well, some days, most days, but I'm trying really hard to be better. And that's exactly why I built this place. You see, for most of my life, I played small. I stayed quiet when I should have spoken up because I didn't want to rock the boat. I did not want to make things harder for anyone else. So I absorbed it. I absorbed the pressure, the weight, the discomfort. I kept the peace for everyone else while I was abandoning my own. I also lived most of my life very overweight, to the point where a doctor once denied me a medical test saying that my heart simply wasn't strong enough to undergo the test that I desperately needed. That was a big turning point for me, and I realized that I had to start tending to myself. My family, they needed me, and I wanted to be there for them. So I had weight loss surgery. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or pretend otherwise. I also walk 3 to 5 miles most days of the week. I prioritize my protein and I do the things that I'm supposed to do. And I'm really proud of myself because I've maintained a 120-pound weight loss for more than a couple of years now. But you see, here's the part nobody tells you. I fixed the outside. I started to look in the mirror and see the person that I always thought if I could be, I would be happy. But losing the weight, it didn't fix me. Yes, I'm healthier. I have more energy. My health is so much better. Recently, I hung a hammock chair on the back porch, and for the first time in my adult life, I didn't have to wonder if it would hold me up. But you see, even in a smaller body, I was still putting myself last, still feeling selfish for wanting things, still treating myself like I had to earn the right to be tended to or to want the things that I wanted. And that, it shook me to my core when I realized that losing the weight, it didn't make me happy. It didn't, not really, because, you see, I was never broken. I didn't need to be fixed. I was simply untended. No one ever explicitly told me that I deserved the same care, the same compassion, that I so freely give and continue to give to everyone else. So I started tending to myself intentionally, imperfectly, and very awkwardly at first. And slowly, everything started to shift. This place, this greenhouse, isn't built for one kind of woman. It's for the career woman exhausted from being the dependable one, at work and at home. It's for the stay-at-home mom who hasn't had a moment to herself in years and feels guilty for wanting one. It's for the newly empty nester staring at a quiet house and wondering, who am I now? What do I do now? It's for the caregiver who pours and pours until she's running on empty. It's for the woman who looks put together on the outside but feels like she's unraveling on the inside. It is for every woman who's ever said, I'll take care of myself later. The greenhouse is where later becomes now. I'm not going to give you a list of things to do. Your list, like mine, is already long enough. I'm just going to ask you to do one thing. Reach into the back of your cabinet and find your favorite cup or glass, the one you've been saving for a special occasion or a celebration, a better day, the one you think you'll finally use when you deserve it. I want you to use it today, not because everything is perfect, not because you've earned it, but because you're allowed to tend to yourself, because you matter. Joy, it doesn't need a reason, but if you need permission, I'm giving it to you. Use the cup, use the glass, use the fancy dishes. Start small, but start now. And I'll meet you right here in the greenhouse, the place where we tend what matters. Because today, my friend, you matter, and we'll talk soon.